This is definitely going to be the most stressful concrete pour I think I have ever done. We're back out on another day of the little tiny house build out and very excited. So you can maybe hear in the background, we have a crew out again. It's so much nicer to have people out. So kind of the idea of this space is to kind of create a little private oasis kind of away from the rest of camp and really kind of make this more of like a private feeling space. So we will eventually be putting a couch here and some screen material to kind of block this off and just kind of working on creating sort of a patio space here. But the project for today is starting on this kitchen area here. So I'm very excited. We're going to be doing some concrete countertops and basically just making some really cool stuff out of scrap and salvage and rebar and trash and something really cheap that's going to look really cool, that's going to last for a very long time out here in the desert. So here's kind of the plan for our sink. So we're going to be building these little gabion walls, some shelving there, and then doing a concrete countertop right across the top here. And I was kind of walking around our junk bin, our junkyard yesterday planning this, and I'm really glad I didn't throw this away. So this is an old Thule box. You can see it's pretty beat up and not roadworthy anymore. But I was looking at this, and this was the inspiration for this entire build. This is a perfect concrete form. So what we're gonna do is use this as our form for the concrete countertops and then basically just break this off. So it'll be a one-time use form, but I think it'll work perfectly. It's got some cool curves to it, kind of got the cool little curve there. And then we'll be able to embed our sink right into this. I had this on the road when I lived in my car for 4.5 years. So that's all the national parks I've been to. So it's kind of sentimental.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, it's going to a good use. The joys of using everything scrap and salvage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. Pete has been doing an amazing job. So this is our new frame for the countertop. We're going to be doing some rock gabions. It's just going to look super, super cool. Little sink, concrete countertop. So happy with how this is coming out. And it's all pretty much scrap steel that I get in Tucson for pretty cheap.
Post-apocalyptic desert urban decay style countertop we're building. Ignore some of the terrible welds. It's kind of just going through, and it's developing as we build it. Just about to add another leg here, and we're going to be throwing in some shelving. So originally this was going to be 3 gabions with maybe a couple rails on top, and then we're going to use this old carport top as a mold and pour concrete in place. And it has evolved quite a bit. So now we have a couple tube frames giving it the support to the point where we don't need a center gabion to support the weight of the concrete when that's poured. Keep your eyes closed.
Oh, good God almighty.
All right. I'll do it, all right?
Trying to be with you for a long time. That was a good time.
2 legs and 1 electrical shock later, I have pretty much everything ready to go for the shelving. That's my janky lineup method on the floor, giving me some reference points so I have them relatively square.
There's been this pile T-posts out off the side of the road here in the desert for as long as I've lived here, so at least 4 years. So pick those up. Definitely see why they've been out here, because this is a tangled rat's nest, so we're gonna have to cut these apart to get them, but they will be really great for our shelves for our kitchen.
So in order to make the shelving, we're gonna try to get some salvageable straight pieces out of these T-posts. I made this bendy thingamajiggy. Then we're heating up one of the T-posts right now, and we're gonna hopefully try to get some of the kinks out of it so it can be a nice level shovel.
Welcome back out. We are continuing on our outdoor kitchen for our little tiny house, and I'm excited because hopefully today is the concrete pour for this. So here's kind of where we're at. This was all scraps stuff left over. The goal in this was to really not spend a whole lot of money. I just realized we have to put the rocks in there before we put our countertop on. So that was a good catch. But what we need to do here is, I have this old Thule box that has been sitting in my scrapyard for like several years now, and the idea is to use this as our form. What's going to be really interesting about this is it's got these ridges, it's not square, and we're putting it onto a weird shaped sort of thing. So to keep the concrete attached to this top, what we did was weld on these little pegs. So we have 6 little pegs on there. My thought is to get this kind of aligned how I want it, and then actually heat up those pegs one at a time and just kind of melt a little hole into the box, so that way that hole is like perfect and it will fit perfectly in theory. Once this is in place, then I can mark for our sink, I can mark for our countertop or our stove top, and we have something very special that I'm not going to say yet coming over here. So that actually worked surprisingly well. All of building like this is problem solving. Okay, so I got our sink marked out. It's always the nerve-wracking part when you're about to destroy something that you have one of. So we're going to cut a little small, little on the inside of this line, make sure it fits really nice and tight, because I do have this lip around here that kind of gives me a little bit of a buffer room to kind of screw it up. So okay, so this is the tricky part, because I don't have just like solid piece to put down here, or like there's these extruded plastic kind of things. I'm debating what I wanted to do here. I think this is actually the broken off piece. I'm almost positive of our countertops in my house. I got a full video of that concrete countertop pour that I've saved. It's a little wonky and warped, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm gonna use this for my form for my sink. And then I have one more piece for our stovetop. And then I think I can just use pallet for our little secret area, because that's going to be, we'll get back to that. That's going to be really fun. Okay, so I found these old signs that I did for a installation piece. I think what I can do is stick these over these holes and just like silicone the hell out of it onto each of these to kind of block it, so that way we do have a flat surface to work off of, instead of trying to cut exactly around these little notches. This is definitely going to be the most stressful concrete pour I think I have ever done. So, but we're going to run with it. We're figuring it out as we go. Let's get into it. And usually what I do for my concrete countertops, because my forms are always a little on the sketchy side, is do a thicker mix for that base layer, and then kind of a drier mix for the base layer, and then kind of get it wetter. And that way it kind of has a chance to like seal up any little cracks and stuff like that that I may have missed. And then we do like a real wet top out of Portland cement and concrete sand, and that'll be our polish at the end. So. Here's what we got. This is our secret thing. Our sink and then our stove right here. We'll have the concrete countertop here for prep work. And then underneath we'll have storage and stuff like that for people. And honestly, like, this is my favorite type of project to work on because all of this, every single bit of it is stuff we either had in inventory, was donated to us, was scraps from other projects, was in our scrapyard. Like, literally did not buy anything that wasn't already in the shop. We've got all this laid out. I'm gonna cut some rebar for this centerpiece right now. We're gonna get this down there. I think what I'm going to do, because our countertops are gonna be yay thick, and this Thule box is gonna stay, so it doesn't matter too much what's in here. So I'm actually gonna get some cob and kind of do just a light layer to really seal up around these two sides. This one doesn't matter as much because we don't have the hole cut in the bottom yet. But I still don't want to chisel out concrete if I don't have to. I'd much rather chisel out cob. The pack rats have been stealing all of my right-handed gloves, just the right-handed ones. I went through here the other day and there was 9 left gloves and 1 right glove, which I'm very annoyed about. And now they're eating. They're just eating them. Alright, we're wrapping up today. I was very overly confident in my ability to get the concrete poured today, but this was a lot bigger of a project than I thought, as they all are. You would think I would know after 4 years of living out here. We're ready to get the concrete in tomorrow. We did get a ton done today. Got our rocks in, got our boards oiled, got our form made, got our little secret box thingy made, and yeah, just really kind of taking my time with this and making sure it is done nice and beautifully, and it's really fun to work on a piece that is functional art. Thank you guys for watching this part 1 of this 2-part series of this no-buy concrete countertop scrap steel outdoor kitchen. If you guys want to see the rest of this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want to see how we poured this beautiful concrete countertop in our tiny home for very, very inexpensive, I've got that video queued up for you right now. Thank you guys for watching. Go build something cool.